Hi there, happy Profit First Allocation Day. And today I want to talk about an ongoing argument I've had with myself. Mike Michalowicz wrote 2 books that I use every day in my business. One was Profit First, obviously. I talk about it so much. But the second was The Pumpkin Plan. And the argument that I have with myself is which comes first. It's sort of a chicken or egg situation. Do you apply the pumpkin plan first or do you apply Profit First first? Well, I recently attended the Pumpkin Plan Boot Camp for becoming a high value business consultant, which was brilliant. I highly recommend it. And one of the questions at the end of the week was, do you do Profit First or do you do Pumpkin Plan first? And there was a Profit First professional who is also certified as a Pumpkin Plan strategist who answered the question, and I thought it was brilliant. Now, she's a financial person, so I think she definitely has a bias, but it is kind of where I've landed for myself. She said that she starts with Profit First because there's usually like someone needs a tourniquet when they come and say help. And it's typically related to money. So the business is bleeding money everywhere, or it's not doing as well as you'd like for it to do. And you don't know how to grow the business. So you start with eliminating expenses. It's exactly what I talked about. The very first thing to do with Profit First that I did was look through all my expenses and eliminate the low-hanging fruit. It didn't fix everything, but it did help me realize that there were steps that I could take to help make this problem of bleeding money or not paying myself or always feeling like I'm living invoice to invoice, kind of like paycheck to paycheck. It did sort of eliminate the urgency around that eliminating expenses. And she said she takes that step with people first and starts talking to them about setting up their Profit First allocation accounts. But almost immediately after that, in order to get a company into a growth mindset and the ability to get there in a scalable way, you almost immediately follow expense elimination and maybe some tweaking of some pricing with the Pumpkin Plan. And the reason is because it allows you to do what we talked about last week, which is your second round of expense elimination by eliminating some products and services. So that seems like it would eliminate revenue, but typically what it does is really reduce your expenses and allow you to grow revenue in the other products and services that you provide well and that you know how to do and that you can do on a regular basis faster and get a bigger margin off of. You're the professional in this area and the specialist, and you provide the deepest value. So where I came to with it was you need to go through steps, 1 through 5 with Profit First, as far as eliminating your expenses and setting up the different Profit First accounts and starting your allocations, but almost immediately follow that with the Pumpkin Plan. And I think it just all goes back to what Mike wrote about in Fix This Next, which was the hierarchy of business needs. And until you feel some stability in your finances, you can almost not think about anything else. So that's that whole sales and marketing. If you don't have the right number of sales coming in and you're not marketing well, then you can't even think about growing your business. The revenue is everything. It is the oxygen of a business. And so you have to start fixing that first before you can get into this growth and scalability mindset for the business. So you're kind of applying a tourniquet, you're doing some medical procedures on the finances of your business, and then you're going straight into strategy. And the reason is because you can start to grow your business faster, and Profit First will work better. You'll be successful at Profit First if you apply the Pumpkin Plan. So getting reducing expenses, eliminating some of those expenses, and starting to get some of the pricing right for what you're offering should be followed almost immediately by the pumpkin plan. And then you're going to reduce a lot more things and tweak a lot more things with pricing, and maybe even add some products and services, take some out of the mix, because it's all about the right people that you're serving and giving them what they want and need, and giving it in a specialist kind of way so that you can get a higher margin and you can systematize it and start to scale your business. So that is the argument I still have with myself, because I think if you pumpkin plan first, profit first is just going to exponentially work better for you. But sometimes you've got to apply, if it's a severe situation where you're in severe financial straits, you probably need to go through the profit first steps first of elimination of expenses and making sure that you have the lifeblood of a business happening, which is all about revenue without spending too much money. And then you can start to strategically plan your growth in a way that's going to accelerate profit first when you're done. So chicken or egg, I think if it's dire straits, you start with profit first. If it's not, always start with a pumpkin plan, because you can increase your revenue best when you strategically serve the right people. That's it for today. Happy Profit First Allocation Day. And we're here to help you grow your business without working harder so you can do more life. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.